Hey, Rick. Thanks for joining me today. I'm pretty excited about what we're talking about. As I'm a senior director of products and solutions here at Fortinet, and we're announcing today a whole new product that's completely unique in the marketplace. And since it plays strongly in the OT world, I thought it'd be great to have a short talk with you, our CISO for OT, to talk about what you're seeing with your customers, what you're seeing in the marketplace, and then what this product could mean in your conversations with customers. So, first off, this new product, it's our newest rugged firewall that brings our next-gen firewall capability along with our SD-WAN capability to that unique OT customer space. But some people might wonder, why does OT care about SD-WAN? And so I think maybe the first question maybe we should talk about is, does SD-WAN matter in the OT space?
So, I'm blessed. I get to be in a position here to work the solution, and Fortinet is always leaning hard. This is just another example of that into a space that's cross-cutting, both IT and OT. You hear that term digital transformation thrown about a great deal. But it's true. OT environments are becoming more digitized through web-enabled sensors, the collection of that data through cloud-based applications. And so there's a natural dependency and growth. There's an expansion, right, of what you characterize as operational technology. I'd say today organizations with operational processes are digitizing their environments using that sensor technology. And they're connecting now to cloud-based applications. And if you think just for a minute about what that means across operational technology, it brings opportunity. And I say it brings opportunity because they care about a couple of things in particular. Reliability, of course, improving your communications. Mm-hmm. I think that's top of mind. Centralized management of that and control. So there's an efficiency component of there. Of course, security is always foundational, right? That secure connectivity, improving the application performance and the user experience. Load balancing, again, for failover and efficiency, all important. And I think what's really most important when you distill it down is cost savings. That cost effectiveness, the way to move away from the more costly types of communication like MPLS, and our ability to be able to rapidly deploy and expand the environment. Those are all attributes of the solution that I think just get OT customers not just interested, but really excited about maturing and growing their industry.
So you're having actual conversations with customers about SD-WAN and being deployed into those operational technology type environments?
Yeah, that's exactly right. In fact, it's very cross-cutting. We try and characterize OT into specific subsectors. You often hear manufacturing, energy and utilities, transportation, even building automation tossed into the equation. And absolutely, you see evidence of that migration and that movement, that expansion, what I'll call, of broadening the what we'll characterize as a network that almost is boundless. You can't draw the hard lines around it anymore. You usually typically think about OT as a high-value physical asset, but it's certainly broader than that. So certainly industrial, but certainly affects a range of services today that citizens around the globe depend on, right? These are critical infrastructure activities in many instances. So naturally, they're high value, and there's a lot at stake.
How is it different than, or what types of differences do the OT type organizations have from a quote unquote typical enterprise, kind of the classic IT type organization?
So that's a great question. I mean, there are contrasting value systems in play. The IT guys have been at it for a long time, and they have their typical model, which usually starts with confidentiality, ends up down at availability. But with OT, you really have a primary impetus is, hey, give me continuous and safe operations. That probably shouldn't come as a surprise. There's a lot of volatility in these environments. If I'm in a chemical manufacturing environment, the stability and control of my environment becomes very important. So safe and stable operations become everything. So you could say there are competing objectives there. But what's happened, of course, with this transformation, digitization of the environment is the need also to think about security as a design in, right? some of the best practices that we know well in IT, we need to figure out how to integrate and make part of the equation for the OT environment, so that as you're thinking about a different reference model, a different way of looking at the world, from the point of where the systems converge all the way down to the plant floor, if you will, you're thinking security and thinking about ways to understand behaviorally what's going on in the environment. And again, that provides that situational awareness that there's no operator out there that doesn't want that.
Mm-hmm. So then, which of these types of industries that you talk about, these critical industries, are you seeing the most uptick in conversations or deployments of SD-WAN type technologies?
So I think the energy industry is certainly a terrific example of that. The ability to be able to manage a distributed environment, lots of connections, utilities as well. If you think about water control and supply, those kinds of expansion naturally tend to leverage a lot of substations. And when you get into the thousands of locations, that's a lot to manage. So being able to do it seamlessly and with great transparency becomes very important. Again, the ability to take that capability and deploy it so quickly, that we talk about zero touch, becomes very important. Again, that's part of our product migration and that whole strategy of figuring out how do I get it out to the point of where it's put into play and making a difference sooner. Again, efficiency becomes very important. Cost effectiveness becomes a big part of that as well.
So given that this is the first of our rugged firewalls that really has that full SD-WAN capability, where are you excited about the new opportunities that this opens up for the OT customers?
So I think, if this isn't Fortinet's first venture right into OT, we've been at it for a while. I think the thing that is very important is it's built on this foundation of deliver speed, deliver transparency, deliver scalability of a solution. Those are all foundational principles that usually become very important when you start to think about how to protect critical infrastructure. The other piece which I get really excited about, I'm an engineer by heart, so I get geeky about it, is the kinds of speeds. When you realize that we're designing this capability into the next generation firewall with SOC 4 technology, we're dealing now with the ability to handle traffic at levels and speeds that are unprecedented. That's really important when you're trying to get that visibility and situational awareness that gives you the confidence that your environment's operating predictably.
Wow. So now you've seen this new product that we're bringing to market now. What about it gets you most excited then?
So, clearly, you have to think about security at the foundation, but it goes way beyond that. Not surprisingly, and again, this kind of tracks with Fortinet's business model for operational technology, we're offering a variety of form, fit, function factors. That's really important because some of the spaces, believe it or not, in operational technology aren't very pleasant. A harsh environment is not unaccustomed. High temperatures, moisture, EMI, all those kinds of things that the natural office environment doesn't have to dwell on become a part of how you have to be able to operate in those spaces. So being able to support wired and wireless applications in a ruggedized form, fit, function becomes equally important. Not always the default, but at least you have that capability to address the specific environmental restrictions that you're going to encounter. Transportation system, a great example. You're dealing with rail, underground rail. You can trust that there's not a lot of space that you're dealing with, first of all. So your function and form fit are very, very important. Tight spaces, again, higher, low temperature, not uncommon. So you have to be able to address those sorts of environmental conditions, but be able to provide the same sort of stability and capability that we're doing in the office environment, which of course, now you're talking about the 60 series of the product, 60F, and now the 60D if we're talking about the ruggedized version of the next generation firewall. So again, when you combine that with the fact that you've got SD-WAN capability designed in, it gets really exciting.
Wow. Well, it seems like we do have a great new product here that we're going to be bringing out for the customers. Any final thoughts on the product and what this could mean to our customers?
Absolutely. I think one of the things that's exciting here is not only is it designed with the OT challenges in mind, but it also leverages Fortinet's security fabric approach. Also tends to take advantage of our mantra, which is always think about partnerships as part of the foundation. So our Fabric Ready Alliance partnerships, technology alliance partners become a part of the solution space as well. That's key, right? Because it says foundationally, we can continue to mature the solution. It's never about ripping and replacing. It's about growing, maturing, and we do that with our partners as well. So that gets me real excited, because your OT system owners aren't interested in tons of change and frequency. They want to feel comfortable. The mantra of it, if it isn't broke, don't fix it, tends to prevail in OT. Of course, they need to take on and tackle this challenge of securing infrastructure due to convergence or digital transformation. So we're wrestling with that, allowing them to modernize how they communicate securely and giving them the confidence that at any moment in time, they understand the state of their environment and they understand the ability to protect that environment, because, of course, Fortinet provides back-end, very high-end back-end intelligence services through our FortiGuard laboratory. So that, again, all of the kinds of things that you may have been accustomed to historically are still in the game.
Rick, I always learn something when I talk to you, and it's always a pleasure spending time with you and hearing how eloquently you put together what we're doing for OT customers and what OT customers, what the challenges they're facing in their industry, and how they're taking advantage of the new digitization that's happening, but then also making sure that they have the right controls and protections in place so that they can do that safely and reliably.
Peter, it's great chatting with you. I enjoy these exchanges. I think we both are pretty high on what it's all about in terms of protecting OT, both for our customers and our citizens around the globe, because, of course, they expect to be able to acquire products and services. They want to be able to trust their power source and the utilities, and of course, transportation. That's very cross-cutting. So there's a lot at stake. And again, I like the fact that we're in it to win it for the long haul.
Always true. Thanks so much, Rick. Good chatting with you.
Always. Take care.